Hello everyone, welcome to Unmotivated Motivation episode 3. Last episode I talked about why looking for happiness is wrong and why it's better to look for pleasure and happy moments. This episode I would like to talk about change. Because if you are not pleased with your life and stuck with it, there is definitely a problem. However, most of us is looking for mistakes and excuses around. If you are not pleased or happy, look yourself. It's usually easy to live without thinking about ourselves. That's the trick of our brain. It wants us to spend as less energy as possible to survive. That's why keep us away from every thinking process. However, this is not the real world. We have many other influences around. Those all changes our mood and our life. It limits us. To get out of this limit, we need to go extra mile. You can easily say, I'm glad with myself, and why should I change? Maybe it will be rude, but I can answer this as the happiest people on earth are the most ignorant ones. Because you don't give any effort for it. No effort for living, so everything is coincidence for you. Your existence, your identity, your daily routines. This means that you have no free will at all. You have zero control on your life. This is enough to survive, but what differentiates us from other life forms, from animals, is our brain. It's better to use it instead of acting like a plant or animal. When you don't use it, it's even worse. You are no different than any simple item at home. Therefore, the reason of change is to take control of your life. Then you can decide what to do with it. As I said, start change from yourself. In my case, there were three major things to change. First is wasting time. Second is opportunity cost, and third is influence area. These three were the most important for me, and I think every people should give importance. Because I was spending so much time with doing nothing. I made bad decisions usually, because I didn't know what I was giving up. Sometimes I felt so overwhelmed about responsibilities, but I see that most of them are not really my responsibility. So, wasting time. When I think about myself, I saw that my main problem and complaints are about time. There are many things to do, many plans, but very limited time. I always think that 24 hours per day is not enough. It's never enough. When I realized that, I have decided to track my daily actions, and the result was amazing. I spent big amount of time without doing anything. Why? Because I don't know what to do in a day. So to reduce this wasting time, there are plenty of methods. But what I do is writing down on daily basis. Every morning or before sleep, I consider the day. What should I do? What are the obligations? Then I write all down, prioritize the list. Sometimes I see that many things makes my mind busy are just nothing and not even necessary. So I filter them and finally I know what are the tasks of the day. Like this, I can say that my mind gets so much relaxed because I stop worrying about tasks until their time come. Besides, I could only focus on that task and stop multitasking. This has increased my efficiency and motivation as well as quality of work because I saw that 90-95% of my thoughts are bullshit. They are just make my mind busy, but they don't have any importance at all. Another benefit of this writing method is you know what you are doing. You have complete control of your life. For example, sometimes you meet with a friend and you assign 1 hour for that. However, the conversation went really well and you sat there for 4 hours and also got drunk maybe. This often happens if you don't know your plans. Your day is completely ruined. But if you already write down what are your tasks, even if you have to assign it another time, you will definitely do. So you won't skip what you should do, but maybe you just postpone. But you can easily see it, what you didn't do, what you should do, and what you will do. I also make an evaluation on Fridays. Why Fridays? Because it's last day of week and you tend to be lazy. Therefore, it's the best time to plan your weekend and to see what you have done on week and what you couldn't. This gives you good feedback if you are overwhelming or not. You can see what you can manage, how much you can do, and whether if you have time for another activities you want or not. After that, you can push some of them maybe on weekend or you can delete it from your list because it's not so vital. At the same sense, it's important to plan the weekend. We usually excuse that we are tired and waste 2 huge days with low efficiency. However, if you plan, you can see that there are a lot of time and a lot to do. You can plan your social activities, hobbies, shopping, travels, cleaning, or whatever. If it's planned, you can see that there is time for everything. Therefore, it's important to wake up early at the weekends. You can finish many tasks until afternoon and then you can be completely free. For example, instead of spending hours on social media or looking for what to watch on Netflix, you can use that time much better. And then you will see when you have certain time for Netflix, you can choose series and movies much faster and still have time for other things to do. At first, it can be hard, of course. But in time you will definitely optimize it and your plans will be completely optimum and it gives you a lot of free time. And you will start to enjoy it. Another thing is opportunity cost. You may hear this a lot or maybe never heard. Opportunity cost is one of the most important things to know if you ask me, but most of us prefer to skip it. We even don't know it. That's basically what you give up to do something. Let's tell this with the same example. You will meet your friend at a bar and you will stay just for an hour. After bar, your plan is to call your family, cleaning the house, visit another friend, or work a bit, practicing some skill, or go to shopping. After all these plans, you sat with your friend for 3 hours. Actually, you prefer to sit there over other plans, by purpose or not. That means that you gave up all other plans. Those plans are the cost for you. By staying there extra 2 hours, you postpone all your plans, which means you also postpone your other plans in another days. So maybe there are something important. For example, maybe you have to get prepared for some work or some job interview. But because of this choice with 2 extra hours, you give up that time that you will get prepared for important tasks. So this is the cost for you. And perhaps you won't have time for those plans again. Or another example, you have a family and living in a rent. You want to increase your comfort and you get credit to buy house and car. You will pay it back for next 10 years. This can sound pretty normal if you don't think about opportunity cost. But if you think you have to accept that to buy apartment and house, you give up your future travels, your luxury expenses, most of the cultural events, hobbies, even your kids' expenses. So you give up all of them. So it's not only the credit you have to pay, it's only all this included the price. It's always better to think what you give up. If your desire to buy a car causes to give up your hobbies, going out time, it means opportunity cost is high. Never forget that time is only thing you cannot buy. As you shouldn't waste it, as we talked before, it's also important to make correct decisions. Since I am aware of opportunity cost, it helped me a lot organize my life better. Both about time, also about my budget. And influence region. Everybody is responsible with their selves, but this is not also always true in daily practice. We have many other responsibilities like work, studies, homeworks, friends, family, pet, and so on. On the other hand, we cannot change and influence everything. There are also things which are not under our responsibility and those we cannot change. This is important to understand. If you have a problem, think about them, set the problem and find solutions. If you don't have problems, you can think how you can make your life better and make yourself more satisfied, to discover yourself and see your capabilities. The only way to do this is to define your responsibilities and prioritize them correctly. You shouldn't waste your time with things you cannot change. If something is not very important for you to do, don't do it. Or do it immediately. If something is not under your responsibility, don't think of it. Draw your boundaries. For example, we are all responsible to our families, kids, boyfriends, girlfriends. This is a must. And if you see it as a must, just focus on that. And make it priority. And on that time, only focus on that. This will increase the quality of time and also increase the relationship between your family and you. This is also opportunity cost problem a little bit. If you want to buy a present to girlfriend, but also have something you want for yourself, you should consider that the thing you want to buy yourself is not only the price you pay, also your girlfriend's happiness, the time you spend together, the relationship between you. So it's up to you how to make this decision. Back to responsibilities, we are on the age that we get so many information about many things. Social media is the same. We cannot change our lives by envying others on Instagram. We cannot change their life as well by pitying others. When you see a sad news and you think of it for days, this makes no sense and no benefits for you. You cannot change anything. Even if you lose someone you love, getting sad and depressed for days, weeks, is not beneficial at all. It's just waste of time. You cannot save the world. You cannot do everything at a time. You cannot make everyone happy. You cannot help all over. You just cannot. Only thing you can do is what you can do for yourself. Only thing you can really change is your own habits and responsibilities. So, know your boundaries and forget the rest. When you achieve this really, you will see all you complain about will change with your mind and you will get best results. Just try to live simple. I have to finish this episode here. I cannot really manage to tell things in short and I repeat myself a lot. Therefore, the topic gets longer than I supposed, and this is the reason I have decided to break it to two parts.